today it's on paper 1. Let's start with the paper 1 topics that we have in mathematical literacy. The first topic that we are having is finance. Finance has 60%, and it's 60% when you convert it to the actual marks is 90 marks. And we are having data handling. Data handling is 35%, which is 53 marks. Then we have probability, which forms 5% of the question paper, which is 7 marks. So the total of the question paper all in all is 150. And out of 150 marks, I believe that it is very clear that if you revise finance and data handling very well, you will pass, because your finance is 90 marks and data handling is 53 marks. On top of the topics that I've just mentioned, growth charts may be examined as they form part of the interpretation of measures of spread. Now I want to take you through the structure of the paper. We are going to have 4 to 5 questions. Each question will contain more than one context. Question 1 to 3 will be based on familiar context, and question 4 and 5 will be based on unfamiliar context. So you should know that whatever that your teachers are teaching you in class will be found in paper 1. And then probability will be examined in the context of one or more other questions. So meaning that from question 1 up to question 5, you can find probability. So basically what is key is that you must know that out of the 5 questions that we are having, the examiner can decide to give you 4 or 5, not necessarily 5 questions. So if we have to zoom into the structure clearly now to say, what are we having under question 1 basically? Question 1 will be 30 marks, which is based basically on finance. Remember, I already said data handling can be integrated. So meaning that you can also have data handling in question 1. So question 1 basically is 30 marks, which is finance and data handling, which are easy questions basically. These easy questions I want to emphasize. Make sure that you get the whole 30 marks, because all you need now will be to read information from the text. There's no need to do basic calculations when it comes to question 1. Question 1 basically is about reading information from the text. And we move to question 2. Question 2 is finance basically. So on question 2, you expect questions based on finance as well as the integration of probability as well. Question 3 is data handling. Remember, we have the integration throughout of probability. And then question 4 and 5 is going to be finance and data handling. Remember, I said growth charts can be assessed here. So because growth charts can be assessed, so growth charts, if they have to be integrated, they will be integrated in question 4 and 5. So remember to prepare the growth charts as well, as you can find the growth charts as well in paper 1. Now I want to take you through the taxonomy levels, because you must be knowing exactly what you are expecting. Remember, I said question 1 is based on level 1 questions. What do we mean when we say level 1 questions? Level 1 questions in the question paper, the entire question paper, form 30% of the question paper, which is 45 marks. So I expect you to grasp the whole 45 marks out of the question paper, because these questions are easy. Number 1, all these questions will assess your ability to read information from the source. So as you read information from the source, remember sometimes you have a table, and the table on top is written that the information is given in rands. So if it is given in rands, when you do your calculation, remember that if the information in the table is given in cents, you need to read that information as information in rands. As well, you can have information which is in thousands. And then when you read, you look at your table, the data in the table does not show that the information is in thousands. So you must remember to read all the data that is given there. The next one, you can also be expected to identify values from the source. This is reading information from the source. So whatever answer that you have to give will be directly in front of you. There's no need to think deep about it. And then we have this action verb, determine. So if you find the question which says determine in question 1, basically it's all about giving the value. Even if you don't show the steps, you are still fine, because question 1 is all about finding values in such the simplest way. Just a single step, you get your answer. And then the next action verb that I want to address is the defining. If the question is defined, please check. Sometimes you are given an acronym. If you are given an acronym like VET, remember, if we say define, we don't say write VET in full. We don't say write the acronym in full. So if we want you to write the acronym in full, the information will be clearly given to you. But if you have to define, even if it's given as an acronym, then write the definition in full. Remember, you are given the glossary of terminologies. I want to request you, please go through your glossary of terminologies. Just go through it again. All the terminologies that you need for your examination are in the glossary of terminologies which were given to you. And I believe you did that with your teachers as well at the beginning of each lesson. And then again, you can be expected to define in context. Remember, the difference between defining and defining in context. When you define in context, you must use exactly the wording that is given in your context. If, for example, we are talking about water tariffs, you are given water tariffs, and we want you to define water tariffs in context, then you must be specific to say it is the rate per rent that will be charged for using the units of electricity. You must be very specific when we say define in context. So it is important that when the question says define in context, you underline the word context. You go back to your context again. You read your context, and after reading your context, then define appropriately according to your context. Then we are having level 2. Level 2, we say it's application of routine procedures in familiar context. With level 2, we are saying whatever that you have to calculate, you know, you've done in your classroom. Like calculating your VAT,